Hey there, it's Chris. Yes, we've got the nylon guitar out, the classical guitar, and we are going to do a how to play guitar tutorial of D by Randy Rhoads. Stick around and get stuck in. Now before we get too involved with the tutorial, on this particular video I do a very slow, note by note explanation of how to play this, okay? I'm not doing the performance of this up to speed because if I do that I get a little copyright strike on this tutorial and I don't want that. However, I have put together a complete performance of this piece. It's only 1 minute long and you'll find a link to this below in the description. Do check it out, listen to that and see what you think, 'cause that's a good reference point for you to come back here and learn how to play it. Okay, so the first phrase, 4th finger on the 10th fret, 3rd finger on the 9th on the D string, and then you're barring across the 7th fret here. And 3 strings are played simultaneously, these two, the 5th and the 4th, and also this top one. And then you pick up this G string, and then the B, and then hammer on with your 2nd finger on this B string. Hit the E after. And then you fret the 2nd phrase, then you hit this D string open, the open B, and the 5th fret on the E string. So from the top. And then it's a harmonic. Now, the way that Randy plays this, I think he's probably using his finger to scrape all the way across here. Or he might be using his thumb. I like raking all my fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. I just like the way it gives me more control over the sound. You can play with that. And that's just the harmonics on the top 4 strings. And then we have this kind of a B minor sort of bar chord, if you like. We've got the 9th fret on the D string fretted here with the 3rd finger. And then this 1st finger is fretting the 7th fret on those top 3 strings. That's like a B minor. And then we go up the chord, those two, the G and the B strings, to the top E, and back 1. And then we hit with our 4th finger, we fret the 10th fret on the E string, and also our 2nd finger goes down on the 8th fret on the B string here. So let's tune over it. So yeah, and then slide up this this finger on the 9th, the 11th, now I kind of, this is sliding up to the 11th here, this is up on the 9th, this is the 10th, and this is the 12th high E. I'm playing an A chord in fact. And when you get there to the top, I can hear Randy playing this kind of, not on all of the versions I might add, but I think the studio version it does that Some of the outtakes it does that, not all of them. But it's nice if you can get it in. It's quite tricky. But what you will find is, from this other chord, that just playing that, sliding up this note here, makes this E string resonate. You listen, and I'll play it, and you'll hear it, and then I'll mute it, and you'll know it's gone. You see? See how that's vibrating in sympathy. So the beauty of that is, of course, it's ringing out. So even if you don't hold all of these notes down when you're doing that top, you know, it's still ringing. And it sounds beautiful. So don't stress about having to keep that all fretted. You can play them just individually. And because this E is still resonating and ringing through, it's going to hold that harmonic content together. Then back to the original phrase. And then we go down to this double stop, which is an F sharp up here on the 4th fret of the D string and an A up on the A string. Now you can play this in various places on the neck. I like it here. And then we go down 2 frets, and we also fret this 2nd string here on the B string. I'm using these top 2 fingers here. So that's that phrase. So let's go back again. Okay, so that's 2nd fret, and then an open D with the 2nd fret here, and on the 4th fret on the A string with an E up on the 5th fret here, then down 2 frets to a B here and a D in the bass. So, and then a G down on the E string with an open E. And an open B, back up to the E. So from this, it goes to an open A and an E up on the 5th fret of the B string. And that's all a pull off. Pulls off to the 3 and the 2nd, back to 3, and I pluck it when I go back to the 3. So pull off, then pluck E again. And the next is an F sharp in the bass. I've seen some guys play this chord this way, but I can definitely hear Randy Rhoads playing this F sharp in the way down here, and an octave lower in the bass. It just sounds beautiful. So second string, sorry, 2nd fret, and then 3rd fret up here, and then I got an open D, and then a 2nd fret on the A. That's the rhythm. what I hear. And that's my interpretation of it. I think that sounds great. Next phrase is like a pull off, hammer on pull off up on the E string on the 2nd and 3rd fret. I basically pluck that once. Then I fret this chord. That's the 1st fret on the D string, 2nd fret up on the 2nd string of the E string, and then my 2nd finger comes down on the 2nd fret on the A string. The third finger here goes on the 2nd fret, basically fretting a B7 here. This is the 2nd fret here. So those two together, and up the chord, up 3 notes, back 1, up 3, back 1, and then hit the bass, back to the G string, and then I play the 2 top strings together. So. And this lovely so this is open top E, fretted 3rd, and then that's the 2nd fret. I'm buying the whole thing. You could play it a number of ways. I like to concentrate on just one finger there. So that's the 2nd fret on the low E string, 2nd fret on the high E string, and then an open E in the bass, and a fretted G, so the top E string fretted on the 3rd. It's a classic. Bark style. So let me just do that again. And then you come in on the 2nd fret here with your 1st finger. And there's 2 open strings, which is the G and B, and then the top fretted on the 3rd fret. I'm putting that one off to my 1st finger because I'm anticipating that my 1st finger is required for this next phrase. 1st finger, and allows my 3rd finger then to come over on the 4th string on the E string and play that G sharp, which is the 3rd of an E major, and then pull off that 1st finger from the 2nd to the open. And then this hits the 3rd on the B, and then an open E string again. And then an open low A with a 2nd on the B string here. And then there's also plays a D, and there's beautiful double stop harmonic up on the 12th fret, which is a G and an E string. So I'll just play that whole phrase. Okay. Then we've got this these Hammerons and Pulloffs. All right, and these are 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 3. So the first one takes place up on this G string, and it's a hammer-on from the 2nd fret to the 4th, and a pull-off all the way. You basically strike this once. And I think I play this with my thumb, actually. So the first one is 1, 2, 3, 4. The second one is 1, 2, 3 on the D string. Again, strike once, pull off 3 strings, 3 notes, and then on the A string. Open A. Beautiful. Okay. Then we play the open D string, and we've got these beautiful right. Now I'm playing I think the way that Randy actually plays, because you know the thing is with this beautiful piece, there's on the recorder version, there's a couple of guitars, and he plucks out the harmonic content. I mean, on the outtakes, it's that, so it's. But I like the way that when he plays 2 guitars, they're kind of overdubbed. I love hearing that harmony. So that's what we're going to do here. So open D, then it's the 1st, 2nd fingers on the 2nd and 3rd fret of the top strings. And then they go up to then use your 3rd finger and 1st finger. It goes up to 5 and 1. And then you slide them up to 7 and 5. And you do this kind of trill. Hammer and pull off with your 4th finger. Now, I must admit, that's quite a challenge. And some of you will find that tricky. But it's well worth practicing this at very slow tempos to nail it. So you see it's open D, and then you're using these 2 fingers to pluck the 2 strings at the top. While that open D is ringing out. And then it plays this chord, which is the 1st finger on the 2nd fret here, on the A string, 3rd finger on the top B, and it plucks out those top 3 strings. Open D, back to the open G, sorry. 3rd fret there, open E. So then the open D again, and playing the same sort of phrase. This time we go all the way up to when we get to that 3rd phrase, go up to 2 more frets, but this time the 1st finger's on the 7th, the 2nd finger's on the 8th, and you do a hammer on pull off up on the 9th to the 7th on the top E. And again, it is quite tricky, but it's well worth practicing that. So I'll just do those whole pieces, those two again. And the last, that's an open A to a second fret on the B, and then a D. So you're playing the third fret on the B. G, second, third. Then we're up to this. So that's an open D, a top A, so you're playing in a fifth fret on the A. So it's a pull off to the third, and then a pull off to the second, and then a pull off to the first. While the open D is playing. Then you fret the fourth on the A string, and you pull off the second here on the top E to an open E, and then a D on the second string here, and then an open E. Twice there. D, E, D, E, then a second fret on the A string, and you've got this fourth finger up on the third fret of the B, and then I second fret on the pull that off. So open E, pull off, D, E, open G, E, and you've got to get your finger ready here for the next chord, which is where I use my fourth finger here. So this whole phrase. So that's open A, second fret on the B, and then up onto the third fret on the B, with your fourth finger to enable you to hit this next chord, which is a F sharp in the bass down here on the second fret on the E. So you're playing those two together, and then you're fretting the second here with your third finger, and then an open D, and then second fret on the A string. And you kind of put a rallentando on that, which is a slowing down over time. So we've gone from and then the last phrase is an open E, and then I'm up here on the 8th and 7th of the top string. And again, I'm playing this with Harmonic Content. The original, I think, is just with a pull off, and then a like this. And you can absolutely do that. It sounds great. Open E, pull off the third fret to the second, and then a fourth fret up on the low E, and the second here to an E. That sounds absolutely fine, but I like the harmony, so I play this and give it a nice bit of vibrato actually, and then slide them down to the 7th and the 5th. Let the E ring out. and then I fret the 4th here on the A string, and then I use my 4th and 3rd finger, 2nd finger here to play the 7th and 5th, and then I slide this to, so I slide those two down effectively 2 frets, and I use my 1st finger here instead. Fret that with my 2nd finger, and so on. And then the harmonic at the end, the classic. And again, you can rake, drag your thumb across. I like to use all my fingers. It just feels nice. It's the way I like it. So there we go. Now the thing is, what you'll notice, I've got some with my fingers. You know, obviously the left hand is cut. The nails are cut really short, but my right hand, I've got some nails here, and these are sort of trimmed. My wife, you know, I've been with my wife for so many years now, you know, and she always finds it odd to see me sitting down with a nail file. Filing these off, but however, that's the way it is, and you'll notice that I tend to file away this side of the nail, and make a nice curve from this side around, and it sort of emulates a bit of a plectrum. And when you're, you know, if I was playing this with a classical guitar style technique, obviously I'd be up. This foot would be up on a stool. I'd be up in this posture, and, you know, with that kind of thing. And to be honest with you, I spent years and years in that sort of style, and the hand kind of comes right across the, kind of up and over, and it almost comes down vertically at the strings with that classical technique. And I must admit, I did spend... You know, I spent years and years practicing that, actually, and hours a day, which is obviously why it's, you know, useful to me these days. However, because I spent so much time over the last few years playing funk and rock and blues with electric guitar, I got used to not doing that so much and actually playing the guitar this way and flattening this hand more. And in actual fact, I prefer it because I can now do a little bit of palm muting. You know, and yeah, it's not traditional classical, but I don't think that really matters, and I don't think it's worth getting too strung out about that or concerned that you're not playing some sort of technique that you're supposed to for this piece. You know, I don't know, I've never seen footage of Randy Rhoads play this, but to me, the way I'm playing this sounds like it's the sort of way that it would, well, I think it sounds great. I think it sounds a really good rendition of it. And for tonality, I think the way that my fingers are hitting these strings, it's sort of, they sound nice and full. Sometimes when you pick vertically, these can sound very thin. You can get that very thin classical sound. But if you turn your hand, you'll notice the sound thickens up. You see? I'll do it on one note. See how thick that is in comparison to if I turn it. That's a really hard, plinky sound, because it's just putting the nail past the string. But if I do it this way, it's kind of partly nail and also flesh. See how full that is? Thin, full. So what I'm trying to do is play with this full sound when I'm playing that way. Hang on a minute, a One Direction mug. Hey, they wrote some good songs. Alright, that's it for another video. Thanks so much for your attention. I really do appreciate it. I would love to hear some comments on what you think. paste them down below. I always respond to them. And hey, listen, if you like this, give me a like. It really helps me. It helps support the channel. It helps encourage me to do more content like this for you. And hey, why not subscribe? And while you're at it, hit the notification button to ensure that you get a notification every time I put an update on this channel. This channel's for you. It's all about you. I'm nothing without you looking at this and listening to what I'm doing. So please do engage with me and subscribe. Take care for now. See you on the next one.